I had to bring my cheat sheet. We have kind of a few today. But first of all, it is a great day to be a Bison, and all the student athletes who are officially joining our family today. Congratulations to all of them, not only ours, but the other student athletes as well. First of all, I'd like to thank my fantastic staff. As we all know, it's not just the head coach's job, it's probably more their job. As Dave said, we kind of come in as the closers. So I need to thank Patrick Harrison, Keith Dickut, Kasheen Alexander, and Ari Johnson for all that they do both on campus and off campus to identify the talent, but then also to continue those relationships and get them on campus for us. I truly believe that winning is a character trait and a skill, and I think when hiring my staff, I hired winners, and certainly in our class of 2015, our 3 young ladies that we brought in were winners. But this class of 2016, they have collectively won 9 state championships, and 7 of those being on the basketball floor. So I am excited about that and think that that could only help our program become winners ourselves. Each of the 7 kids that we brought in are very, very different, have different on-court skills, have different personalities, but I'm excited to work with all of them. And at this time, I need to thank their families and the people that supported them through this process in entrusting myself, our staff, and the NDSU community with their futures. The first young lady to commit to us back in January was Riley Nudell from Maple Valley High School, somewhat of a local kid. She plays the 1 through 5 for her team, as need be in Class B North Dakota basketball, but for us she will be a solid wing player, ability to hold her own and rebound, is comfortable with the ball in her hands, wants to attack, but also has a nice outside shot. So she will be a powerful player for us. The next player to commit to us was Tyra Spencer. At the time, I think there was a little bit of media about her being from the other other Bloomington high school, not Jefferson, but Kennedy, and I'm perfectly fine to go across enemy lines to bring a player like Tyra to NDSU. Very athletic, a 2-guard, can handle the ball, but feels more comfortable off the ball. Wants to play up-tempo both defensively, wants to play up-tempo offensively, but using her speed and agility and her quick hands defensively to create those offensive opportunities for us. So her addition, along with Megan Gamble, we should be a very quick and different team next year. The third young lady to commit to us prior to the school year starting was Anna Goodhope. She comes from a basketball family. Her mother played at SDSU, her father played at USD, so she's very familiar with, and they are both very familiar with NDSU, but a multi-sport athlete, fantastic tennis player, has won state championships for Sioux Falls, Washington, down in South Dakota. And she's a very versatile player. Her size, her father is 6'4" and was a point guard, so at about 6'1", 6 feet 6'1", she herself has a great handle, but also rebounds the ball very well for a wing player, and is learning to use angles and her strength to attack the rim. So she'll be a very exciting player for us to watch. The next young lady, Autumn Ogden, is from outside of Madison, Wisconsin, and she's been somebody that probably from the very, very get-go, the relationship that I've had with her and her family has been very unique and very fun to grow and develop. And she's another wing player, probably plays very out of position in high school, being the tallest kid on her high school team. She has to play inside, but she's about this big around, so she uses her sharp elbows there. But her ability to attack the glass, again, rebounding very well from the perimeter at her size, and has a nice outside shot. It's kind of interesting that today she's signing on Veterans Day. She's somebody that has the sincere interest and desire to serve her country one day. So she's looking at the ROTC program here at NDSU as well. And I think that's very, very unique and very neat, and speaks to not only does our staff care about the basketball player and the athlete, but also what type of people we're bringing in. And I think she adds a very different dynamic, and I think that's very, very admirable of her. The next player that committed to us is Liz Bulver. She's from Hopkins High School in Minneapolis, and is this year she's finishing out at a high school out in Missouri. But she's a post player, played on a very successful Hopkins team as well as ASU team. She can hit the outside shot, but she likes to be in the paint. She's got a very quick release, fantastic footwork for a post player, has the shoulders and the body to be able to bang on the inside, and is really going to be exciting for us to coach. Then we had Sarah Jacobson commit. Obviously, that's a fantastic commitment, having another Jacobson join the Bison family. Sarah is a winner through and through. She has won state championships in each of her 3 high school sports that she plays. But certainly basketball is her love and her passion, and it'll be exciting to have a Jacobson on our side, not just on the men's side. And last but not least is another Jacobson, no relation to any Jacobsons that we know, but Riley Jacobson is a post player out of Des Moines, Iowa, and she also comes from a very athletic family. Her father played at Omaha, and her brother is currently playing for Coach Miles out at Nebraska. So certainly athletic blood in her family. At about 6'1", maybe 6'2", she's very unassuming, but she's got a great first step from the high post, loves to go left, fantastic rebounder, has that mean streak in her that when demonstrated is really fun to watch, and I'd hate to be on the other side of it. So from that perspective, I think we have addressed the needs of our program with players at each position, and certainly winners through and through to help elevate where we want to go in the vision that we have for NDSU. This time I can fire away. Go, Beth.
Riley Nudell is someone that we've all had the pleasure of watching since she was like a 7th grader tearing up the Class B scene. But she's a little bit raw coming from that Class B scene. What are you looking forward to just in terms of being able to coach her up and maybe just polish those edges a little bit?
It's interesting, you guys have one perception of her, and I have a very different perception because I haven't seen her when she was in 6th or 7th or 8th grade, and I've only seen her play on a very competitive AAU team, and then obviously a couple high school games. But what's most impressive to me about her is her desire to want to learn and get better. In our conversations that we have on the phone or when she's been on campus, it's all about what can I do to get better? How can I do this? Can you give me drills? Can you talk me through this? Can you talk me through that? Were you watching the WNBA game last night? What was this all about? How did, she's constantly wanting to get better, and that's exciting. And I have full confidence that she will improve and sharpen those edges, so to speak, because of her high work ethic and her high motor. She's not a kid that takes a day off. She's always in the gym. She's always telling me about what happened today, and so it'll be exciting to see her absorb our coaching and be able to really elevate her game.
You signed 2 of, if not the 2 best players from the state of North Dakota. I know it's talked about a lot, but how important is it to get the kids who are homegrown?
That's very, very important. Certainly we want players who are from the state of North Dakota who fit what we need and what North Dakota State is all about. And both Riley and Sarah are very high on that list, like you said, if not the top 2. I don't know who we're missing, but very excited to bring the state's best to keep them right here. I think that's fantastic for our state, for the fan base, but also they understand some of these rivalries. They've been around it. They can't explain it, but they just don't like some of those schools. And then be able to pass that along and explain that to some of the other players, I think is very, very important.
I saw you at plenty of Shanley games last year, so how big a deal was it that Sarah committed? How big is it a game changer kind of a deal that a recruit to land her?
It's a great deal. She's got a lineage of family tradition here, and that's fantastic for her. But I will say that I treated her just like every other student athlete that we recruit. She's in a unique situation. She's been in a microscope her whole life. Everything that she's done, both publicly and privately, has been scrutinized. And I wanted to make sure that through this process, she understood that I was recruiting Sarah for Sarah. Not for anybody else in her family, or not because she was a local kid, but that there were things in her that I liked that I wanted to coach. And so from that perspective, I recruited her no differently. I recruited her differently because I do understand the family dynamics and I do understand the history and whatnot. So certainly she's a great sign for us, but this whole class is fantastic.
It's been a while since a class has really made a difference here. Is there hope here?
I've got hope. I'm not sure about you, but yeah, I've got a lot of hope that this class is really going to be something that can elevate our program, and that's what we talked about in the recruiting process for the 15s, but specifically for the 16s, when you have a longer duration to build those relationships, that this class has an opportunity to be a class to be remembered. That doesn't take anything away from next year's class or last year's class, but certainly just where the program is, where our staff is, the direction that we're going, these 7 young ladies really have an opportunity to make a huge impact.
Where are they on the competitiveness level? Like the competitiveness factor, do you see that in these kids? Stats aside, where are they, how are they competitive?
Oh, their fight and their competitiveness. Oh, hands down, that's the top skill that we need on our program, and certainly something that we look to. When they talk about how much they're in the gym, how much they don't like just winning by 25 last night, not 35. Not being happy with their play. They're certainly a competitive group that will raise our level of play.
How stressful is it putting together a class of 7 in 1 year?
I never thought of it as stressful. I thought it was more exciting, and certainly there is a large net to cast to make sure that you get the pieces that you need, and we always were looking at complementary pieces that can play together and that can help each other and spotlight each other. I never thought it was stressful, but it was a lot of work. It was a lot of work.
You said this group has a chance to make this program different. Well, can you elaborate on that a little bit? What do you mean? What needs to be different?
I think what I'm speaking there is the determination and the mentality coming in with we expect ourselves to win, and this is where we have come from. These players are coming for my vision. They know that I want them. They believe in the vision that I have laid out for them, the fast pace, the being able to pressure, being able to play free and confidently. And so that's the exciting, that's the exciting part, and that's what they're looking forward to, and certainly what we're looking forward to. Thank you.